Okay, so picture this. You're descending on this, like, pristine coral reef, right?
Mm.
Sunlight's filtering through the water. It's breathtaking. But all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you find yourself kicking like crazy just to stay level.
Oh, I've been there.
It's buoyancy, right?
Yeah.
And we've all been there. Today, we're strapping on the old knowledge tanks, and we are taking a deep dive, get it, into buoyancy control devices. You know them, you love them, or maybe you're still kind of getting acquainted. I'm talking about BCDs. We got a section here from a scuba diving manual, and trust me, there's more to these buoyancy wizards than meets the eye.
It's true.
So buckle up as we uncover the secrets to achieving that perfect underwater, like, dance.
Yeah, and let's be honest, mastering buoyancy, I mean, it's really the key to, like, unlocking the full potential of diving.
Totally.
It's the difference between feeling like you're wrestling an inflatable raft and just gliding effortlessly through, like, an underwater cathedral.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, this manual, it doesn't mess around. It dives right into the heart of the matter, and it's a challenge I think we can all relate to, which is maintaining neutral buoyancy.
For sure.
Sounds easy enough, just, on paper.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Not so much when you're dealing with the pressure changes of the, underwater world.
Exactly, yeah. It's all about finding that delicate balance between, sinking like a stone and then floating up to the surface like a party balloon. And then as you descend, the pressure increases, which, it does some weird stuff to the volume of air spaces,
Right.
including,
In our bodies.
Yeah.
And our BCDs.
Okay, so let's pause. Let's unpack this whole pressure-volume relationship for a second, because it's pretty crucial to understanding how BCDs do their thing.
Yeah, it really boils down to Boyle's law, which is like, a fundamental principle in physics, but in scuba diving as well. Imagine this. For every 10 meters, or about 33 feet, you descend, the pressure around you, it increases by 1 atmosphere.
So Boyle's law tells us that as pressure increases, the volume of a gas, like the air in our BCDs, decreases proportionally.
So the deeper we go, the more that air inside our BCD compresses, and then we become less buoyant.
Exactly, yeah. It's like trying to inflate a balloon underwater, The deeper you go, the more you have to fight against that increasing pressure.
Oh, okay.
And then on the flip side, as you ascend, the pressure decreases, and then all that compressed air expands, which makes you more buoyant.
Oh, wow.
So it's this constant, like, push and pull of pressure and volume that makes maintaining neutral buoyancy not just a one-time adjustment. It's like a continuous dance with your BCD.
Yeah, like a constant game of give and take with the underwater world.
Right.
But that's where BCDs come in.
Exactly.
To save the day.
BCDs are like our own personal buoyancy control panels, right?
Yeah.
They allow us to counteract those changes in buoyancy by, messing with the volume of air in the BCD's bladder.
Yeah. So it's all about like adding air to increase buoyancy when you're going down and then venting air to decrease the buoyancy as you're, ascending.
Exactly, yeah. It's like having, I don't know, it's like a little air-powered elevator on your back.
I love that.
That helps you fine-tune your depth, with grace, with precision.
This is already blowing my mind, and we're just getting started. I'm dying to find out more about these different BCD types this manual keeps hinting at. But first, let's take a quick breather. We'll be back right after this with more on mastering buoyancy with BCDs. All right, dive buddies, welcome back. We're like knee-deep in the world of BCDs.
Fin deep.
Fin deep, those buoyancy taming wonders. Before the break, we were about to plunge into the different types of BCDs, and this scuba diving manual is like my treasure map. It mentions these two main contenders in the BCD arena, which is the trusty jacket and the more, athletic, the wing BCD.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like choosing between, a comfy sedan and then like a nimble sports car. The best BCD for you really depends on what you're trying to do and how you like to dive.
I am so ready to hit the gas on this BCD comparison, but before we get into it, can we do a quick overview of the basic BCD parts, just so we're all on the same page?
Yeah, absolutely. Think of it like familiarizing yourself with the dashboard before you take your new BCD for a spin.
Love that.
So, at the heart of it all is the bladder.
Right.
The inflatable part. That's the thing that does the buoyancy.
Right.
And then you've got the inflator hose, which is how you get the air in there, right?
Right.
You can do it manually from your mouth or from your tank.
Oh.
And then finally you've got the dump valves, which is your release valve to let air out.
Like a little air management system right on your back.
Exactly, yeah. And Many BCDs, especially the wing style, they also have what's called a back plate,
Okay.
which is just a sturdy piece of metal that helps secure the BCD to your tank.
Oh,
But it can also be used for weight.
weights. Those sound familiar. Okay, let's start with the jacket BCD.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's called that for a reason?
Yeah, you could say that.
Right.
Imagine like a cozy inflatable jacket wrapped around your torso. That's basically what it is. The bladder's mainly on the back and the side, so it's really comfortable,
Yeah.
especially for new divers.
Yeah, comfort is key, especially when you're trying to like relax and actually enjoy yourself down there.
Right, exactly.
So, how does the whole jacket design, how does that affect like your buoyancy underwater?
So the way the air distributes in a jacket BCD, it kind of naturally encourages this slightly head up, feet down position,
Okay.
which is great for those leisurely reef dives. You're just kind of floating over the coral,
Pretty nice.
just checking things out. It's not.
This manual mentioned something about jacket BCDs and like horizontal trim.
Mhm.
What's that all about?
Oh, yeah, horizontal trim.
Yeah.
That's like the holy grail of buoyancy control. Imagine you're swimming along a reef, right? And you're perfectly horizontal.
Okay.
You're like an underwater ballerina.
Okay.
That's good trim.
Right.
Now imagine you're tilted, like your head up or your feet down. You're using way more energy, your fins aren't working as well, and you're probably kicking up all the sediment.
Yeah, not exactly graceful.
No.
Like that underwater ballerina we were going for.
No, not at all. And while the jacket BCD kind of naturally lends itself to that head-up position
Right.
with a bit of practice, and if you get your weight right,
Okay.
you can absolutely achieve a really nice horizontal trim.
Okay.
It just, it might take a little more work.
So jacket BCDs, good for comfort, good for beginners, and then you can get that horizontal trim if you practice.
Got it. Okay, let's talk about these wing BCDs. The manual is saying they have some pretty serious advantages in the buoyancy department.
Yeah, they do. Imagine instead of a jacket, you're wearing like a backpack.
And then out of that backpack emerges this like sleek horseshoe-shaped wing. That's the wing BCD.
Okay.
And that design is where its magic is.
You're really painting a picture here. What makes the wing BCD design so special?
Well, for starters, think back to, our chat about Boyle's law.
Right.
How pressure affects the volume.
Yeah.
So the wing BCD is streamlined shape, and it has a back-mounted air cell
Right.
that minimizes those pressure changes as you go up and down,
Okay.
gives you incredible stability and control.
So it's like it's working with the physics of diving, not against it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And that means, remember how we were talking about horizontal trim being so important?
Yeah.
The wing BCD is naturally in that position,
Oh, wow.
which means less drag, less energy. You really feel like you're flying through the water.
Sign me up. Anything else?
There's more. You know the back plate we were talking about?
Yeah.
The back plate on the wing BCD lets you shift your weight from your waist to your back.
Oh.
So it's closer to your center of gravity.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that also helps with the trim, but it also just takes a lot of pressure off your lower back.
So I'm sold. Wing BCDs are amazing.
Yeah, they're really great, especially as you get more dives under your belt.
With great power comes great responsibility. Right?
Yeah.
Steeper learning curve.
Yeah, maybe a slight incline,
Yeah.
but that's part of the fun, right? You're always learning,
Totally.
always getting better. Speaking of learning, the manual has some great tips for first-time wing BCD users.
Okay, perfect timing, because I was just going to ask that. Lay it on me.
Whoa.
What do newbie wing BCD users need to know?
Well, first, they really emphasize getting that harness adjusted properly.
Okay.
It has to be snug. It can't be too tight.
Right, so secure but also comfortable, right?
Exactly. And then weight distribution is key with any BCD,
Right.
but it's especially important with a wing.
Okay.
Because too much, you're hugging the bottom, too little, you're shooting to the surface.
So finding that sweet spot is essential.
It is. And it might take a few dives,
Okay.
but once you find it, it's amazing.
Okay, I'm ready to suit up and get in the water.
Yeah.
Any final words of wisdom from the manual before we move on?
Yeah, they just want to stress that no matter what kind of BCD you get, practice makes perfect. The more you dive, the better you're going to get.
Music to my ears. All right, we're about to surface from this BCD deep dive. But don't go anywhere. We've got more to uncover when the deep dive returns. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're exploring the world of BCDs. Before we left off, we were getting the lowdown on wing BCDs from this manual.
Right.
And I got to say, I am feeling some serious gear envy right now. Those wing BCDs, sound pretty amazing.
Yeah, they have a lot going for them, but it's true. Like the best BCD is really the one that just, fits you and how you dive. It's like finding the right fins, one size doesn't fit all.
So true. So we've covered a lot about BCDs. We talked about the
hmm
science, the different parts, jackets, wings. What else does this scuba diving manual have for us?
Well, it goes on to talk about another important thing when you're choosing a BCD, especially a wing, and that's modularity.
Modularity. That sounds kind of customizable.
Yeah, exactly. Like think of it like building your own dive computer.
Okay.
With a lot of wing BCDs, you can change out parts, you can add stuff, you can really make it your own.
So it's like a BCD that grows with you as you become a better diver.
Exactly. Yeah, as you get better, you might realize, "Oh, I need to carry more weight
Mhm.
or I need more places to clip stuff on."
Right.
And with a modular wing BCD, you can just do that. You don't need to get a whole new one.
Oh, that's great. So it's an investment, really.
Right, exactly.
I love it. Okay, so it's clear that picking the right BCD is really important, and this manual has given us a lot to think about. Any last bits of wisdom from the manual for our listeners before we wrap up this deep dive?
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of different things, like what you like, your diving style, the
Right.
physics of it all. But what about the environment you're diving in? Like, how would strong currents or even like really bad visibility, how would that affect your choice? That's something every diver should think about.
Oh, that's a great point. It's all about, being ready for whatever the ocean throws at you.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's time for us to surface from this BCD deep dive. We hope you enjoyed this journey as much as we have. And remember, whether you're a seasoned pro or just dipping your toes into the wonderful world of scuba diving, mastering buoyancy is a journey, not a destination. So get out there, explore those incredible underwater worlds, and keep those BCDs balanced and keep those bubbles blowing.